Today we're going to talk about your container size. This concept is going to give you peace for where you're at right now in your journey. Sometimes we can feel frustrated that the thing that we're really wanting or asking for or believing for isn't here yet. It's not manifested, meaning it hasn't gone from what we hold in our belief, in our heart, and actually see it in the real world. But I'm going to tell you why exactly where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. When you have a tiny cup and it's filled to the full, you would say that you're full and that's all that you can hold. If you have a 5-gallon cooler and it's filled all the way to the top, that's also full and that's what that can hold. When you are asking for something, it's a law of nature that you will only be able to hold that which the size of your container is. So if you're asking for love in your life, if you're asking for more money, if you're asking for a child, if you're asking for whatever it is that you're wanting to see manifested, you also need to be able to hold that once it is generously delivered to you. I believe there's a divine intelligence that wants to generously bless you and give you the thing that you're asking for, but there is a process in which you need to be prepared to be able to handle that once it comes pouring into your life. Let's look at some examples in nature that show us how this is true. When we look at someone, for example, who wants to have a child, there is a process that takes about 9 months in which the body expands, the container expands and grows, and all the supporting systems have to come with it in order to be able to give life to that child and manifest it into the world. If it was violated, if you became 9 months pregnant in 1 week of time, the mother would die and burst and the baby would not have life. Another example is what happens when lottery winners win the lottery who were previously poor. Within 3 years, 70% of these people are broke, and a third of them are bankrupt, meaning even worse financially than before they got that abundance dumped in on them. And most of them have, if you look at the research, severed relationships, drama, a lot of stress that came into their life because the container was not prepared to handle that. It burst. It could not hold that because there had not been time and diligence put into building the container to be able to hold financial abundance. Same with like NFL players. 70% of NFL players are broke within 2 years of retirement because while the person had a skill, they had not built their financial container to be able to hold the abundance that was poured into their life. All these examples just to point to the fact that wherever you are in your journey is right where you need to be to build the container, to stretch it to be able to hold more. So how do we stretch the container? You have to allow yourself to go through difficult processes that stretch you to be able to hold what's coming next. We need to go through these hard times, so embrace them. Whatever looks like an obstacle right now is not an obstacle, it is the path. And you need to embrace it with courage and accept that that is part of how the container gets stretched. You can also be more intentional about stretching your container. For example, if you know that you're asking for more financial abundance in your life, well then stretch yourself by going to seminars, by listening to books, by getting around people whose containers are large and they can hold and maintain large amounts of financial abundance if that's what you're seeking. If you're looking to receive more love in your life, how big is your container to hold love for yourself, to hold love for others? You will only be able to receive as much love as that which you are able to hold within yourself. So the heart needs to expand. And there's ways that you can do that too by practicing giving love every day, whether it's to a child, to an animal, to God, to yourself, to your friends, to your family, wherever that is. Stretch that container, and the container will be stretched by unlovable people in your life that come in your path. And the universe or God will ask you, can you love? Do you have enough love? Do you have the capacity to love these too? And if you say yes and you work on that, that stretches the container. So right where you are in your journey, embrace the obstacles. That's how you're going to get stretched. That's how you're going to get a larger container. That's how you're going to grow in your capacity to handle that which you're asking for, that the universe wants to put into your life. Embrace your journey. Leave me a comment or a question. I would love to hear from you, and subscribe to my channel for more great content.